What's going on, everybody? Payne back here again. Welcome to my new setup. That's right, I'm faced the other way now, so you'll be looking at my face this direction. And today, guys, I want to talk about speed. So ATB has come and gone. All right, so a lot of people were wondering, Payne, what could we have done better? What could we have done worse? So worst you guys could have done is obviously not participated. That's probably the worst part of ATBs. If you don't participate, you're kind of letting down your entire alliance. But if you're there, you could also be making a lot of mistakes. And I want to cover one big one that a lot of people were making, including my own alliance, and that is boosting speed as a tool. Now, I want to talk about speed in general. There's two things I want to bring up here. Number one is talk about that tool specifically and how to avoid it next time. And number two, talk about how to beat a speedy team. That doesn't include NPCs, though. This is strictly for arena, that second part. All right, so the first one is the speed tool. Guys, you guys should not be boosting speed. If you have not watched my speed videos, please go back and do that. What you should be doing for speed in the first place is going into your summon section and doing item summons as much as you can. We have a existing Ryo event going on, which has given us a lot of resources in order to do these summons. So get on here, guys. You guys already know about the auto clicker option. I know it's not part of the game, but it's something that will make life a little easier. But you should be clicking this as much as you possibly can, guys, and collecting these speed scrolls and applying them towards your characters to speed up your character, so you don't have to do that whole wasting resources on speed boost tools for ATB. So for the next tool that comes out, guys, nobody should be touching the ATB speed tool. Everybody should be going for the tribes one, the A, the T, and the D if that's what you want to do. But AT and the tribe specials are usually the one. So you've probably, guys, put your alliance back quite a bit by putting your resources into the speed one where you should not have been doing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is PvP arena. A lot of new players are coming in saying, Payne, I'm losing a lot of battles. What's going on? The first thing I asked them, guys, is go into your shinobi list, go into your character, any character, and just tell me what your plus speed is. A lot of them are like a plus 30, plus 20, and they don't know what they're doing with their speed. So if you don't know how to upgrade your speed, guys, what you should be doing is putting in your speed scrolls into your characters. For example, this right here is the speed that KCM is at. He's at plus 3, level 2. To get to plus 4, you need to get this to level, I believe, 60, and then you'll boost up to plus 4. Now, you want to do this across the board to all your shinobis. If you have never seen my video for the speed videos, there's a speed video and there's a how to get fast video. Both of them are speed related and both are exactly the same. How to get fast is the newer video. So please go back and watch that. And for the love of God, boost your character speed. Now, with that being said, even if you are boosting your speed, there are going to be people in this game who are going to be faster than you. So the question is, how do you beat a speedy team, right? If you're struggling with fighting people who are way faster and they're just out damaging you, there are ways to get through that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about what that is. It is very niche and it's a lot harder to put together because you're going to require specific characters to be your foundation, essentially, but there are ways to get through it. Okay, so the first thing you want to look at, guys, are D units. D units are going to be really, really good against speed characters, specifically D units that do status effect suppression rate, right? Which is essentially boosting your ability to not get stunned or get paralyzed, which a lot of speed characters or speed players like to do. So you want to make sure you have a lot of those characters. So ones that come into mind right now, for example, is just the new anyways, the time arc Papa Sasuke, who's a D unit who does fantastic damage, has great buffs, but also has status effects suppression. And on top of that, you want to boost as much guard rate and guard damage rate and damage reduction rate as you possibly can. So characters such as Gaara are going to be good for that. SMJ are going to be good for that. So these are D units that will take damage. This one can specifically heal himself and also provide you with a ton of guard rate. Now, what guard rate does, for a lot of people who don't know, there's a shield that will pop up based on your percentage of guard rate, and it also reduces a ton of damage coming in. So a lot of speed characters like myself like to use A units and T units. If you have a lot of guard rate, guys, guard rate will give you the ability to negate a lot of that damage coming in, right? Like, for example, guard damage reduction rate is at 34.54% for him. So at 52.9% chance without any buffs, SMJ has the ability to block 34.54% plus the innate ability of guard rate, or the amount of guard rate, maybe 10 to 15%. So you're looking at 50% less damage coming in every time you use guard rate. So stacking guard rate, guys, keep in mind, it will stack, is a big way to stop speedy teams from beating you. Now, with that being said, you're also going to want to have some nukes in there. So having Kakashi, of course, with instant jutsu, and some AoE A units like Rene, if you have him, or Ninetales, you want to add them into the fold as well, because you also want to be able to dish out damage but take less, keeping in mind that arena is 20 rounds. So if you can outlast the opponent for 20 rounds and take less damage with some heals, you can win matches against way stronger and faster opponents, right? So now there are other characters out there, kind of like Chio, and I'm going to explain to you why they're unique unique. Now, Gaara T is also another character, and we'll talk about him shortly. But if you go to their skills, they have these things called if you go last. It's a phrasing in their skill. So Sand Advisor, for example, her trait says recovers HP of the ally with the lowest HP if the user is active at the start of the turn, and boost all active allies damage reduction rate if you're going last. Now this is what I was talking about. Also boost all active guard rate if you're going last. Now this is built specifically for slower people. So people who are slower in speed, this is gonna proc for you. People who are faster in speed, this is gonna do nothing for you. Okay, so if you're not outspeeding your opponent, someone like Chio is going to give you an additional 19.2% for those active allies, and also additionally give you 21.15% if you're going last to those active allies for guard rate. So that's boosting your guard rate and damage reduction rate if you're slower. So these characters give an advantage to slower players. Right now, this is going to be another one here. I'm going to show you real quick. So Gaara T, if I can find him in this list, we're going to show you another example of someone who has a little bit of both, right? So if you go to Gaara's, his self-aware Kage one boosts all active allies damage reduction rate by 33.44%. So that's a lot, guys. So this is one of the best characters to use for that if you're going last. So if you're slower, he's gonna help you reduce a lot of damage coming in. But if you're faster, guys, right, he's going to give you more damage to put out. So as you can see here, also gives guard rate if you're slower. So characters like Chio and Gaara are impressive to have on your team at 4 stars with LB2s, because they're going to give you a lot of utility and survivability. Now, people like Kakashi, on the other hand, actually require the opposite. If you look here, if you're attacking first, he'll give you damage increase rate. If you're attacking first, he'll give you critical rate. If you're attacking first again, he'll do other things. So those are the kind of characters you want if you're faster. So another character that's similar to that right there is going to be someone like Nagato. So Nagato right here, let me just get to him real quick, guys. Where is he? Right there. So if you look at his traits, he also has the same thing where he's all about attacking first. If you have faster cells than everybody else does as opponents, you want to use someone like him, because he'll actually give you more critical rate, critical damage increase rate, and guard suppression rate. So he actually does the opposite of going last. He actually boosts your damage output. So when you're a player who is slower, you want to look for traits like that. So I just mentioned 2 of the big ones. Also big ones, like I mentioned before, are going to be AoE characters in PvP who have the ability to do something like this right here. So for all enemies inflicted with status effect rate, lowers damage reduction rate. Also, if you look at the ability to lower attack is another big one. So anything you can do to debuff your opponent's abilities to do more damage to you and increase your ability to take more damage is a big one. So Sasori is big for that. His puppet body also does damage reduction rate increase. Also the status effect increase, right? So these are all big ones here. Status effect suppression rate right there, so that lowers the ability to get hit. So these are things that you definitely want to have. So these D characters are pretty much your go-to characters for building a proper arena team if you're slower. So keep that in mind. Now another big one here, and this is going to be a very gimmicky situation, is going to be Hiruzen. Shout out to Rack. He used him for quite some time to actually beat me once in a while, and it did work for him. But it is, again, very gimmicky, and it only works once in a while. But take your chances if you like. So someone like Hiruzen actually does a specific death jutsu, as I like to call it, and when he dies, what he actually does is he increases all of the chakra for the allies, and then when he dies, he also decreases the chakra for all opponents. So that's the one I was really referring to. So it actually negates Sai's ability to give you chakra. So if you do end up killing Hiruzen, because it's an AI controlling, right? If it was you controlling, you'd leave him for last. But because the AI is controlling him, an AoE can kill him, or any random opponent can kill him, or ally of yours can kill him, which will actually cause your next turn to lose 2,340 chakra, which negates all of your abilities to do jutsus. It also increases the chakra for all the other allies for the opponent, making them do jutsu. So you could actually lose quite a bit of manpower with that ability. So there's characters like that as well. So keep that in mind, guys. So your main goal when you're slower is you want to boost damage reduction rate, guard damage rate, and status effect suppression. Look for characters that do that. Any characters with the wording that says going last is going to benefit you if you're slower. Also, characters who do AoE damage that also reduce the opponent's damage increase rate and attack rate and critical rate, those are going to be big ones as well. So you want to play tactical. Ideally, at the end of the day, a healer in that team wouldn't be bad, like Tsunade, because she will boost your abilities team to survive the 20 rounds if that's how long it takes. But there are ways around beating speed characters. Now, I will make this point really quickly. That is only effective in PvP, guys. strictly in PvP. PvE, it doesn't matter how many D units you throw at your way or at the opponent, because at the end of the day, if you go the full 20 rounds and you have more HP, you will lose. So boosting speed is actually the better way to go in this game. You want to make sure that your speed is up there, because at the end of the day, you actually eliminate a lot of the RNG aspects of the game if you're faster than your opponent and you can attack first, which gives you also a plethora of other options to build a team rather than specifically focus on certain units over others. All right, I just want to point that out real quick. So if you have any questions, give me a shout. Shout out to those people who are using D unit to do this. I mean, it works once in a while, but as everybody's aware, it's only a solution if you have the proper units and the proper setup. All right, guys, this is Payne. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk soon.